Morning, everyone. Okay, just start as per normal. Just a quick rundown. You can unmute or you can post on the live chat as we interact in the forum so we can learn stuff together. As much as you can contribute, we all try and contribute together and hopefully have a good trading experience. We're trying to iron out a few mistakes in here, which people can tend to make, especially when they're starting. So we only live then with the sometimes variables of the market, put it that way. So yeah, just interact. It's very important. It's a forum, and we're all trying to work together. Okay, right. I'm going to share the screen now, and we'll start at 1:30. So we can talk about other stuff if you like, if you want to chat about it, but anything to do with trade. Actually, so just give me a second. Right, hope you can all hear me okay. Okay, it's 1:30. Good morning, all. Good stuff. Thanks for that. Great. Thanks for that. Right. Let's just get started. Morning, all. To say. Just let Sam in. Right, don't know, I've got this up, but a couple of trading ideas we can go through if you like. Didn't any yesterday, not sure there'll be any be sent out today, but we can have a look at a couple if you like. URCHF, I think that's still going strong, but let's just check on the trades because it's a few days ago, so I'm going to put it up here somewhere. URCIS, right. It's on the 31st. It's 4 days. It's not that long, but it seems like a long time, eh? So it was a sell, almost certain. They wouldn't be selling the Swiss franc. 95.91. That's been hovering. It chopped down here. Probably some guys might have got so fed up with it down here yesterday, they might have just grabbed it instead of 30 pips in profit. Let's grab the bloody thing. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes look at the candle, let's say, I don't know, this candle here, one's bigger than the other. So this one here is very small. So it depends. So we got down to just below 95.60 yesterday. So some guys might have got fed up. know. It's popped up again. If you're letting it run. Unfortunately, was stopped out. Some guys took the profit, then it came off. I mentioned yesterday, I'm not so confident on it now. That's my worry. It was a long, remember. Now it's open. Remember this yesterday? Just let these guys in, beg your pardon. Remember I mentioned yesterday, I'm worried about the technical damage that's occurred. I'm hoping obviously going to break up because the guys, some guys took profit, some guys are still in the trade. Keep your fingers crossed, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about the technical damage if it opens below the 50-day moving average today, which indeed it did do. So let's see what happens. It might be fairly quiet going forward. Just have to keep your fingers crossed, but it's not looking pretty at the moment. Swiss franc, dollar, Swiss franc, that'll be affected today, the non-farms. So obviously let that run. Not so pretty, but anyway, we'll see how that runs. Maybe get lucky with the non-farms later on. GBP CHF, that hit the TP. That was a nice one. We just mentioned Euro CHF. AUD's CAD hit the TP. That original gold came just short of the TP. Most people took it as a profit. CHF JPY, I can't remember the Euro IAD, but I know the Swiss franc JPY definitely hit the TP. So not too bad. Okay. Just remember, guys, if it doesn't get to your target, modify your stop, not too close, and make sure you don't turn a profit into a winner into a loser. CAD JPY is a classic example. It got up to 107.70. I modified my stop to 107.40. I got stopped out. I made a profit. A reasonable one, actually, not a bad one. But some guys either busy, other things to do, or missed it or whatever. Now they're sitting it when it's about 20, 30 pips down, which is a pain in the backside. It's still got a good chance of moving up if you look at the technicals on it. There's no major technical damage. It's still holding above the 50. So now you've got to be patient, hope it gets back up there again. But don't forget, guys, especially newer guys, we say buy at 10, aim at 15. Whether it gets to 50 or not, only time will tell. But if it gets to 14 or 13 or something like that, you should be modifying your stop to reduce risk, take out risk, and maybe put your stop loss if you're going long where if you do get stopped out to the profit or short all this information. Okay, am I breaking up a bit there? I hope I'm not having internet problems now. I'm on a fiber. It should be okay. Anybody else having some problems there?
Yeah, you're breaking up on my side.
No.
Same here.
Me too.
Yeah, same here, Raj. Your signal's a bit
okay.
laggy.
Is it a bit better now? How are you hearing me now? Any better? Okay, I heard you a bit better then. How can you hear me now? Is that better?
Clear, clear.
I hope it's
Much better. Thanks.
Thanks very much. I think maybe just a little bit of internet wobble there happens, I'm afraid, even on the fiber. Okay, right. Okay, let's continue. I was just mentioning stuff there that some of the new guys might be new to it. Most of the other guys know that. Remember, when you get a trading signal, sorry to hear it again, but it's so important because it happens so many times. When you get a trading signal, look at it, get the volumes right, and realize it may or may not hit the TP. We call that the target. It might not get to the target. So don't say get in at 10, aim at 15, stop loss at 8. It gets to 14 for argument's sake, and then comes screaming back and stops you off, stops you out. That's not good. So I know you're busy, other things to do. I get that, but try if you can, check it now and again. Don't get the stop too close, but modify it to reduce risk to what you get the stop loss after a while better than your entry. So if it doesn't reach target, something happens like the CAD JPY came back off from about 107.80 or something like that. And then, the guys who modified the stop would have been stopped out in a profit, and the guys who didn't were still holding on, and now they're in a loss situation. So just bear that in mind. Once we're in the market, what happens after that depends on market variables. Nobody can control that. That's the idea. So just bear that in mind. Don't just leave your stop loss and a massive loss when you're in a nice profit. get your stop loss up to protect you so that if you are stopped out, it should be in a profit. There's a few trades I and some of the guys there made who were stopped out in a profit on a trade and are happy, and other guys now are saying that trade was no good, I lost on it because they didn't modify. And because when you start, understandably, totally, you think it's going to go from A to B. That doesn't the case, and it certainly won't go in a straight line. There'll be ups and downs getting there. So you got to understand that. Don't let it play too much with your head. It takes a bit of practice, to be fair, and keep yourself modified stop loss not too close. If you get it too close, you'll get stopped out in the noise, and if it reaches target, you're not on board. So it's a little bit of a tightrope walk at times, but just bear that in mind. It's very, very important. I hope you all understand that. Probably yes, to be honest. I hope before I come to Gerard there, hope you all understand that. If you don't, I'll repeat it, because this is where people are turning winners into losers. I know you got to cope with the losers. They're going to occur. Tell you right now, one of the few things we can probably say is 100% in this world, and that's going to happen. You know, you're never going to get a 100% hit rate in anything, not just this, anything really. But do not turn a win into a loser. All right. Okay, yeah. CADJPY. Yeah, I think it's going to have some more upside. It's come back down. My only problem with Gerard, look at today's candle. Very iffy. Look at that body. It's now 9.5 hours old. No follow to the upside, not much follow to the downside. It's hovering a little bit. I know it's not a US dollar. It's not gold. It's not a share. It's not an index, which is obviously going to be big time affected on the NFP later. But I find the world's markets, even the non-dollar related, seem to get affected by it as well for some strange reason. Even the Canadian, maybe because it's the sister country to America, and they get affected a bit. So technically speaking, yes, it's a buy. Can enter again. 2 worries. It's not getting going. You might get some sideways action. Look at the hour. See what sort of distance we're talking here. 20 pips an hour. Range in the last several hours. I think maybe rather wait till Monday. But if you want to be a Rambo and go for it, I do see upside, even though it looks a bit not sideways and boring at the moment. Okay, I'm just going to mute everybody. There's a bit of a racket in the background there. Try and keep yourself muted if you're not engaging, please. If you want to speak finally, or anybody really, just let me know and I'll unmute you. Okay. I hope you're all with me on that. Dante, good to have you back. Please repeat. Canadian, Japanese yen was asked. I went probably a little bit quickly there. I do it every day, and quite frankly, I was quite experienced. So I've got to remember there's other guys here as well. Right, I've got on the hourly chart here. It's very sideways and quiet. We've got the non-farm payrolls today at 2:30. I'm doing a 2 o'clock session for a straddle trade. Most of the guys I've done before almost certainly be joining me because we've had some extreme quick buck success on that. One of the few times we make a quick buck, actually. So join me if you can, as long as you got money in your account. It's not on a demo. Please, we only allow 100 people in there. Don't tie up space there so other guys can't get in when you have no money to trade with. Please, either put money in your account or stand aside and let the other guys in who can trade it. If you want to trade in the future, I can always explain how it works, but don't take up the seats. I think it's only being fair on that. Okay. Right, and don't say I'm like some guy who made a lot of money and find out, because I can check all of it. And there's no demo account. You know what I mean? Then that's not making money. That's just self-kidology. Okay, it must be proper live accounts to take advantage of it. You can't spend demo money, unfortunately, when you go out to the shops. Okay, where were we now? CAD JPY. So it's sideways. I'm going to go to the daily. It's above the 50. It's above the 100, and more important, it's above the 200 as well. So it's clear in the buy range. I'm happy with that. Why I said I'm going to stand aside is because the non-farm payrolls coming out at 2:30 today does affect even the non-US dollar related instruments. So be a little bit wary, and not much upside here there's not much follow through. You see, you can look at the candle. As it goes up, the sellers came in, forced it down. As it goes up, the buyers came in. It's 9 and nearly 10 hours old, this candle, and there's not much action now either direction. The last thing you want to do is get in the car and drive around in ever decreasing circles. You want to get in the car and go from A to B. Clearly, it's not decreasing, but it's not going anywhere, as I showed you on the hourly chart. Hope you all understand that. So for that reason, I think I'll probably wait till Monday and risk missing the boat. If you're a Rambo, that's our sort of trading room slang for the guys who are aggressive traders, brave traders or whatever. Fortune sometimes favors the brave. They might to risk it with a stop down here somewhere, about 80, 75, 80 pips away, something like that. Take it up here. You can you will get a risk reward if you take it up to the body there. If you want to risk doing that, apart from the non-farms, everything I've said, do I see upside? Yes, I do. I hope you all understand that. I think so, Ivan. Yeah, unless you can do what you like. The people I want to make this quite clear. If people know what the straddle trade and they prefer the AUD or the euro against the dollar or whatever, that's of course up to them. But I'm just going to say a consensus. What should I pick to show the newer guys in there? And we did a little bit of a sort of consensus, and there's more preference of dollar yen. Did the euro dollar last time, I did gold, so I'll just do that. But you don't have to follow it, or we can do both. I'm just going to do it for the new guys, so I'm going to do the dollar yen. But Ivan, if you want to do the euro dollar, that's your choice. Euro CAD. Gerard, I've got that written down as a sell actually, but let's have a look at it. That's interesting. Great guys think alike, eh? Great minds think alike. Yeah, I'm going to look at that in a moment. I've got it written down to discuss just that. And the CHF JPY. Clearly, I won't be selling that one. Okay. No, I think it's 50-50 at the moment. I see upside, but for the reasons I'm saying, I'll wait till Monday. But if you're fairly aggressive, you can do it. Make your stop about 75, 80 pips away and target the top of there. You see, I've got the crosshair there, and you target that if you want to do that. But my worry is the non-farms, and because of it, it's going to be pretty slow going. And remember, it's the weekend coming up, so it might be a bit slow coming in during the day. But I do see it. The advantage we are aggressive, it works out. The guys joining it on Monday might get it at 107 instead of 106.70. You get the point. So the guys who take the risk will get a better price, but then they're taking a bigger risk, which it makes sense, obviously. Hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, please say so, like Dante did there, because it's no point me waffling away at the speed of light of the Farners and the Gerards and the Anna Maries and the Brands of whatever this will, if the newer guys think, what the hell's he on about? So be like Nicky. If you're not sure, ask, and then you will know. Oh, we'll try it anyway. Oh, good luck, Rabi. You got more gonads than I have. I'm very aware of the indices at the moment, but yeah, it's very much sideways range. So I'll look at it in a moment actually. But I haven't been on the NAS for a while now, nor the Dow. Been a little bit nervous of it. I think it's more of a bull market now. It looks like. So I'm looking more buy the pullbacks, but we shall see. And it's finally better support. Yeah. Okay. So that's my answer, Cade. Can we move on? Have we everyone understood the CAD JPY? Anyone, any more details or any further explanation? Have you all got what I'm on about? While you're thinking whether you have or haven't, don't forget to have the moving averages on there. They work beautifully, not when they cross or whatever, but for support and resistance and for filtering from the buy, neutral, and the sell zone. Very important. They say a lot of hard work as well. People go down by there about 40, 50, whatever they are, technical indicators, you know, you're coming or going. This makes it a lot simpler, easier. Simple filter. Is that the buy zone? Is it above these or below? It's obviously in the buy. No brains required. Is it between the blue and the brown? Nope. That's the neutral zone. Below the two? Nope. So it's their sell zone, between the two, neutral, above the two, the buy zone. Makes life a lot easier to support. So if you're going to buy it, why would you buy it here? You buy it when it comes back here and send it up. What would you watch out for? You look at the candles, see what the buyers and sellers are doing, any follow through, and then you wait for the break above. You don't buy it on there. Hopefully it bounces slightly. And then you look at the economic calendar, which I'm going to post for you right now. Some guys might have that. Just check there's no big fundamental coming out on either two currencies you're about to enter, obviously. If not, you want to go into something come out in the Japanese yen or the Canadian half an hour and you're about to enter it, you could do you a favor. It could come back and smack you because it's gone the opposite way. Just look at the economic calendar. While I'm on that, I'll put in the dollar for you as well. That's a dollar index. We refer to it all the time. It's very important. The dollar, whether you like it or not, is very important. Okay. If you personally don't like Americans, don't like the dollar, well, pack that aside. Unfortunately, it's important. Actually, you can just put my name and number down here. Some might not have it. This is only for guys who got properly funded accounts. When I say probably not a lot, but I mean, some guys put in 50 rand. I can't get my head around it, actually. Anyone thinks they can make money with the price of a half-price hamburger is beyond me. But anyway, please do it. Play around with that yourself. But I'm far too busy to hassle with that. Okay, funded accounts, I can assist. And if you've got 2.5 grand or more, or $150 if you've got a US account, clearly US dollar account, let me know and I'll add you to my VIP group. And you'll see already those are members, get some updates, etc. on there. And you normally get the signals first and sometimes more before the MT5 gets it anyway. And I can spend more time with you as well. I can't spend half an hour with a guy who got 100 rand in there, because it would obviously cost the company more than the guy in brokerage. That's the way why people can't see it, but that's another story. Right. You have a US dollar account, fine, Nancy. Then if $150 or more, let me know. Why am I trying to encourage this 150 or put more money in? Not, well, obviously it's a business. We're in a business. Quick Trade's in a business, and I'm loyal to them, clearly. But I'm talking more for your sake. This is a $1 trillion American dollar market. Forex alone does several trillion American dollars contract value a day. Never mind the bond market, the interest rate market, the share market, the indices market. You get the idea. And guys going in with no knowledge, no equipment, and no money to try and tackle that. It's like a pea shooter against a tank. And plus, it's no point having extra signals, more the practical reason, if you haven't got the money to take them. It's like me browsing around Clifton Beach 40 million rand mansions. I'm wasting the bloody sales guy's time because I don't have 40 million rand to go and buy one. You know what I mean? So if you get 3-4 signals a day, there's no point if you've got 1,000 rand in your account or $50 or whatever it is, because you won't be able to take them. You only take one at a time anyway. So the whole idea is for the person to understand this very, very, hopefully will become obvious when I explain it, principle. You need knowledge, you need capital, and you need equipment and Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you cannot do the job. And to come in without any of those three and hope for the best, no. You know, you got to do it. If you want to do something, do it properly. Okay. Do you like that, Robbie? But it is, isn't it? I mean, it should be blindingly common sense, but it seems to be beyond most, because I think maybe the emotion takes over the logical. I always say they want something for nothing at you, which we've all had, certainly myself, and when I was a lot younger. And I realized to get some, you got to give. I wanted to take no risk, want a higher return. It's a contradiction in terms. The higher the risk, the higher possible return. No risk, no return. You get the general idea. And sometimes you miss it. Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Absolutely, Gerard. That's equity. Talking about equity. Absolutely. If you can afford the shares and you want to build up a long-term equity portfolio, absolutely, yes. Completely different for trading. You're spot on. Yes, I agree. I'd even have Microsoft in there, but those two, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But it is, yeah. It's to say, it's not trying to be rude, just trying to do guys a favor to think a little bit, because otherwise the little bit they got, they're going to lose it because they're not equipped. So come to Trade Room and be equipped for the job. Perfect. You got my number there, Nancy. Once you've done it, well, just send me a WhatsApp anyway. But please don't say, hi, this is me from the trading room. Some people do that, believe it or not. Say, hi, this is Nancy Baggio. If you have a moment, put your real account number down. I'll update you on my system here, and I can check it out. And then once you've done it, just WhatsApp me, and I'll immediately upload you. It'll benefit. You say you have to have all three things. I repeat it again. Sorry, finally on that. Just got to repeat it because people seem to battle to get this concept. If you don't have the money, you're going to get margin called. 90% of the trades you can't do because you'll be overexposed. You won't have enough free margins. You get it margin call. What does margin call mean? And you're trading. You shouldn't be trading if you don't know the basics. Okay. Number two, if you don't have any knowledge, well, common sense. And number three, you're working off a phone without proper internet connection. You know what I'm saying? It should it should be blindingly obvious common sense, and it frightens me when it isn't, and that makes me nervous. You know, I'm gonna run a race against a cheetah and wonder why the cheetah beats me. You know what I mean? So please use a bit of common sense, you get a bit of capital, and we'll help you. What happens is fear comes in when you first start. What's the minimum? That's fear. That's not a problem. Once you get a bit of confidence and you put a bit more money, it's a bank account, by the way. Money's not at risk. If you're not in the market, it's like putting money in FNB or Standard Bank or whatever. It's not at risk. The only risk occurs when you go in the market. Make that very clear. But still, you're nervous. It's new. You never know. No problem. I have no issue with that at all. I do have an issue. A guy gets on my case saying we're taking his money when he's starting off with about a couple $100. He's obviously gone in, overexposed, highly leveraged account, and he's been margin called. And then why would we want to steal his hamburger? I mean, we're not that desperate, number one. And number two, he thinks he's going to make a lot of money from nothing. And that's my contention. If you think you're going to make a lot from nothing, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. I don't care who told you that, but it ain't going to work. You've got to put in to get out. We'll probably mention that down the line because it is a worry. Okay. It's common sense, Michael, but it is a worry. And we've got a large amount of people not seem to getting that, just clogging up the system. Yeah. It's and it's a pity because these poor guys are the least can afford it, Right. So do the job properly. Okay. Let's move on. We've got a couple to look at there. For interest's sake, how much is a share for? Well, just look it on your system, put it in there, you can see it. There you are. Let's start off with Tesla, because where's Tesla here? $260 a share. With derivatives, you put a 5% deposit down. If you're going equity, it's like buying cash. It's $260 a share. Apple did the share splits now just under $200 a share. It was about 1,000 at one stage. Amazon was about $3,500. Google's nearly $3,000 at one stage per share, but they've done share splits. If you don't do share splits, I mean, Amazon, if you didn't have a share split, would probably be about $150,000 a share or something stupid, which means the retail market can't afford it. So what they do every period, if company does well, which clearly those companies have, they do a share split. In other words, let's say they do a 10 for 1. It's gone up from $10 or $100 a share. They'll do a share split, so it comes back to $10 a share, and all the guys holding $100 shares will obviously have now 10 shares. You get it. So in other words, you had 1,000 shares, then you now have 10,000 shares because you're not going to lose money on it. They call that a share split. Just to make it more affordable. Amazon was over 3,500, nearly $4,000 at one stage, which means that's in dollars. I mean, you're talking there about 100,000 rand a share, which puts it out. Even the Swiss and the people who got some Tom would find that a bit of a problem to build up. So to make it track the feet up the retail market, they did a share split of 10 to 1. So everyone's got one will have 10 shares, and now you can buy it 200 instead of 2,000, if you see what I mean. Hope that's all clear. Basic arithmetic. Let's have a look at this down. If you're getting a bit nervous, go straight to it. Okay. If people are a bit nervous in a trade at the moment, we'll take that precedence because you can get a bit nervous. Now, I hope you've got a micro unless you've got a lot of money. I don't know how much money you got, Rabi, but it seems the consensus, not many people seem to see very decent size accounts. So I'm making the assumption it's not that large. Then be careful going in the original or normal account because you would need to trade that down the normal. You need about 10 grand because you need to have very wide stops for such a volatile instrument. So don't touch. I've got the micro up there. The normal one, don't touch below 10 grand. No, don't. You need 200-300 pip stops, and the volatility is there. Remember, the exposure is it's 35. Well, a big back exposure another time, but so I hope you're on the micro. It's very much a trading range at the moment. Could go anywhere. It's about a 400 pip trading range at the moment. It's the bottom of the trading range, could pop up. My issue now is I hope you're in a profit. I don't know what you're doing there, but the non-farms could affect it positive or negative. The Dow Jones will be affected by the non-farm payroll release later on. Absolutely. So don't go into it now. If you're in and you're in a profit, make sure you're protected. If you're in a nice profit before the non-farms, you can put your stop into break even. So if it goes against, you're okay. And if it goes with, you make up a lot of money. But just play around with that because I don't know. It could affect you positive or negatively. Nobody does. Just bear that in mind. It's very nerve-wracking to pull out before the non-farms if you're in a minus because it might work out for you. That's the big question, yeah. But at the moment, my problem with this, to be honest, Rabi and everybody, it's probably going to be a bit sideways. Go to the 1 hour chart. Because it will be affected, I think we're getting a lot of sideways action going into uppers too. Don't think you're getting much action, but I could be wrong. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know. I'm just thinking from experience. Okay. Hope that answers your question. But yeah, it's the best way to find out what the price is. Just put it on your watch list. Simple as that. Just add it to your watch list and you'll see it, the price in front of you. Don't forget, shares are opening at 3:30. So don't try and buy or sell a share. That's a US share like Facebook or not Facebook, sorry, Meta or Ford or Coca-Cola or Amazon or whatever. You can't. Only at 3:30, and do not use this calculator here. It only works. It doesn't work on shares. It works for everything else. BUT, but shares. So use it for everything else but shares. Shares, you've got to have the Excel one. And if you don't, ask Ivan, he'll copy and paste it for you. He's pretty good that way on the live chat there. And don't forget, 3:30 to 10:30 is open. Repeat that again, because we're not having trade ideas at the moment. I'm going to get this clear. If the market's not open, it's like the shop not being open. You can't modify your stop loss. You can't close it. You can't enter it. If you're in, let's say, Apple, and it looks like some bad news is coming out on Apple, not sure when the release is actually, it usually releases after hours. So you hear in the news after hours when the share market is closed that they got, I think the sales of iPhone have gone down. I'm not surprised. Massive competition from Xiaomi, the number one at the moment, and then Samsung, because the costs involved, of course, because they've got to pay the poor guys in America proper salary, which they don't in China. You know, those sweatshops in America, illegal unions and all that. So price-wise, I find it difficult to compete. Anyway, apparently iPhones are down a little bit on sales, so it might affect it. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, you hear that news, nothing you do about it. You got to wait till market opens, and if the market opens down, well, so be it. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Remember, the market's about buyers and sellers, and if the shop is closed, there's no buyers and sellers, so you can't modify, close, open, do anything. And don't think, oh, hang on, fantastic news coming out on Apple, that share 99% going to jump. Oh, can I take advantage of that? No, you can't, because you have to have an opposite side of the coin. For every buyer, there's got to be a seller. If everybody knows Apple is going to open up $50 higher, how the hell are you going to get the product? Because nobody's going to sell it to you, because everyone knows it. So you've got to have a willing buyer and a willing seller, a counterparty to make it work. And so the quickest way is stop looking for the no-brainer. People spend their life looking for the no-brainer shortcut, and it doesn't normally, sometimes you're lucky, work out. So just bear that in mind. I think a lot of people are not realizing this. So just sort of throwing that into the mix. Hope you're learning from it. Okay. 352 on the Dow. Whoa, you're all right. 350. Well, you're right. You're up about, what, 50 pips. Well, if you're up 50 pips, my friend, I normally keep about 200 pip gap between my on the 200 pips on the indices, not on shares, 30 pips on shares, not shares, sorry, currencies, 30 pips on currencies, but about 200. Because of non-farms, I think it might be safe for you to bring it up to a break even. You know what I'm saying? Bring it up to break even. 50 is very tight. I think, to be fair, probably better to be stopped out with no risk involved, to see it perambulate along and then suddenly in its movement come down, and then you want to close it or modify your stop at 2:30 or before that, it's now in slightly negative, you've got a problem. So in this case, I think play safe, bring it up to break even there, Rabi, and then you're not worried about it. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. If you don't get knocked out and it goes well, you might make a quick buck. Then you're a bit of a win-win situation. That's probably the better way to do. And Ivan, as he very kindly does, has posted the CFD calculator for you. So if you want to do a CFD, copy, keep it, like I've done with my number and the US dollar and the economic calendar. Keep it there. We're all trying to help you guys. All we ask for return is, like Nancy did and newer guys did, interact. Don't just sit there and expect to be downloading your brain like a computer. No, you got to interact. Ask Nikki, she interacts and she's already, and only doing it a short period of time, she's already getting some idea what's going on. It doesn't take years. It's not that difficult, but you need to interact. Good stuff. Well, why would you cash in if you can get it up to stop? I mean, he's only 50 pips in profit, unless he wants to take it. Can cash in you like. He's protected, and it might work out. He might end up with 400. 50 pips bank now, or 0 bank, or 400 return. That's the choice. I think I'd go. I think I'd modify the stop. And normally, what happens is something. I'm sorry, this is not scientific, but I think Fardy and Gerard and some of them will know what I mean. It's something called Murphy's Law. Very, very important law. What happens then? You decide to take it quickly instead of modifying like that. What it will happen? It'll start going in the right way, and you're not on board. You know what I mean? That's called Murphy's Law. So always bear that in mind. Alan, good day to you. I think you hit before, ring a bell. He's copied for you. Oh, well done. Thanks very much. Morning, Munler. Great to have you. So those who haven't traded for long, you will encounter Murphy's Law quite a lot. It's international law of annoying traders. The definition of Murphy's Law is how to annoy a trader. Yeah, but you're doing it for a short time, Michael. Anything to make money takes a bit of time, but the more you put in, the more you get out. And this is not get a degree in law or medicine or pharmaceutical engineering or whatever. Anyone with a matric level or above comes to trading room, interacts. I think in a month they start asking questions that are on it. As simple as that. Yeah, guys, 6 months still don't know because they either don't pay attention or they don't do the course or they don't want to listen and want to do it their way. Well, fair enough if it works for you, but mostly it doesn't. Good stuff. All right, we'll go back to EuroCAD. Thank you for reminding me very politely, but let's get back on course. Now I look for that as a sell. Let's go on the daily. I'm looking for that as a sell. It's been a bit of a range trade to this level here, which is quite decent. In fact, we take it down there. It's 100 pips, 1,000 points for 100 pips, 105 pips. Stop up here somewhere. I'm looking to sell in a range trade. Only thing you've got to remember with this is, like I mentioned just now, and the other one, it's holding. That's a beauty. Not getting much follow through. We'll see anyway. Let's no dollar involved there. Remember, there's no dollar involved there, but it could be affected. But but the Canadian, even more the euro, might be affected slightly more because if the dollar gets very strong, it could depress the oil price, and Canadia's a big producer of oil, so it might affect the Canadian a little bit. So just bear that in mind. But if you want to if you say, right, I'm willing to risk that, I think it's a possible short done here. I'm assuming you agree with me on the short there. You didn't mention, I don't think. I assume you agree with me, Gerard, on the short. Stop up here with a TP down there. Do you want to take the Rambo aggressive one on this one or wait till Monday? Sometimes, yeah, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You're not dollar. It's not correlated in that way. Not necessarily. Well, if you want to see a buy, I would be nervous to buy it. You might well be right, brother. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'd be nervous to buy it until I get a confirmed breakout. Look how it held there. Look at the sellers coming defend. Look at the sellers defend the line. Any old enough might have heard in the last World War, they call the Siegfried line and the Maginot line. They're defending the line. Okay, I'm not old enough. I just happen to know that. I'm far too young to know it, but I do. Moving along. Yeah, so holds. It's a range trade. Popped up there. I get that. I think look at that candle there. I think that was a fundamental. When you get that kind of move in a day, 200 pips in a day, that's a fundamental. Okay. I'm seeing if you want to buy, I want to see a confirmed break above there or a sell. It isn't the buy zone because above the blue and the brown. I totally get that. For ignore today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, or really 7, 8 days, you count these two guys here, it's been in the range. So I think it could be likely to be some more downside, just purely for a range on a technical basis. If you're going to go for the long, which you could well be right, I would wait for confirmation break above the 50D. When I say confirmation break, not popping its head out, I mean going up, coming back and testing it and moving up with the bottom of the candle above here. Starts moving up with the bottom of this candle above the 100-day, I'd be more inclined to agree with you. But at the moment, I'd look for a sell. You think what on the EJ? Okay. Well, the NJ would be a buy. On the E, sorry, Gerard, I beg your pardon. I remember now when you posted, you said EJ. I do beg your pardon. Okay, on the EJ, how far is that? 3 pips, so that's easy. On the EJ, it's a buy, yeah. I quite agree. Just 1 second. Sorry, a few guys there. I probably think, what the hell's he on about? EJ, what the hell's he on about? Okay, but anyway, that apart, yes, on EJ it's a buy, but the momentum's a buy, but technically speaking, at the moment, I think it's a sell. So I'd be reluctant even on the EJ. Okay. For answer that, Nancy, I just want to mention Barney, Anna Marie, Brian, Chantel, Gerard, some more experienced ones. If you're okay with it, I will explain some of the other stuff there, if you don't mind. If you have any trading ideas, the more experienced guy I'm talking about, please post and we'll do them. That's important. That comes first. If you're in a trade and you're worried, that's even more prioritized. You're in a trade, number one, and you're getting a bit worried and want to update. New trade, that takes precedence. But if we've got quiet moments we have at the moment, I'm quite happy to do all this, as long as you're okay with it. Because I don't want to hold up the more experienced guys going through basic stuff. I prefer to, but when we've got quiet moments, it should be okay. And it might be good for you to reinforce it as well. I don't know about winning the debate, but to be fair, but I think sometimes prudency does occur. Okay. Good stuff. Well done, Tesla. I looked at it again, but I nearly went for actually, and I chickened out. But anyway, I went cluck, cluck. Unfortunately, I've got to go back on the Rambo course for that. Yeah, but I'm okay. And Ivan as well as experience. Okay. For next week, we'll look. Oh, absolutely. Look, once the non-farms are out the way, hopefully we'll get some direction. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to look at a couple of questions there to go back, but don't forget, if you've got anything to say on it, please, go for it. Not here to bore the more experienced guys. The folks now is NFP, absolute, don't want to end up, yeah, well, that's why we're not sending out today, that's correct. Right, totally on that, and Tomby, that's why we're not sending out today to everybody on the MT5 or my VIP group. Okay, right, how do you use time frame? Right, what I do is I sometimes use the weekly, mostly the daily, and occasionally the 4 hour for a trade, okay? What I use the 1 hour for, just to get another movement to see what's happening, and the 15-minute to get even more of an idea what's happening. When you see me doing the straddle trade at 2, I'm only using the 15 because you can see what the hell's going on, because I'm putting a 10 pip above and below, buy stop, sell stop. If I put on the daily, I won't even see it. It's just too zoomed in. Is that, well, we get the wrong way around. Is that zooming in or out? Yeah, it's too zoomed in. I want to zoom out for the 15-minute. So I do my strategy on there, then I quickly check it sometime to see what's happening because I can see the movement. How long give me in the trades? The next question. Everyone asks that at the start. And always my standard answer is nobody knows. Could be in a day, could be a week, could be a few days. The market will do what the market does. Once you're in the market does what it does. I can't control it, nor can you. So if it's down a bit, don't panic. Nobody can pick a bottom or top. We say buy at 10, it might go to 9.5 and then go up and hit your TP. It might not, I don't know. But I can't pick that top and say, right, sell it down there, buy it and buy it up there. I can't do that. So let's say we say sell it there and you're selling it and it pops up a bit. You see a bit of red there, so be it. You got your strategy, stick with it. And and that's why I don't even show it here. I'm out of most of them at the moment. I'm sure I'm in at the moment, actually. I think I'm only in USD JPY and I'm still in Disney. That's all I'm in at the moment. I'm out of most of them. But I don't look at them all the time. I rather have it down there. So I'm not, not concentrating my mind in it, and it'll play games in your mind. But that's a tip, but it's very difficult to maintain that tip, I must admit. So yeah, that's a strategy mostly, but occasionally the week in the 4 hour. So I'm going to give you an example now. I'll stick with this one, put on the daily. I'm looking at that. It seems to be holding at the moment. At the moment, it might change, go up. And I think, right, let's have a look at the previous candles, and I see a range. This is not brain science, not complicated. Can you all see there's a range there? Between these two lines, a range. Then I check to see the distance by dragging my cursor down, and I see the figure 1136. We're after pips, not points. 10 points, 1 pip. So I'm not after 1136, I'm after 113 or 114. Say about 110 pips. That's enough meat on the bones. You get the idea. If that was about 40 pips, you can't do the trade. There's not enough direction for the risk involved. 110 pips, that's good enough. Then I look at a possible stop out the way. I'd ideally like it, have it there, but might not get a risk reward, but I can put it there. Then I might look for the 4 hour and put it above there on the 4 hour. I can even put it out there. It's too far. Maybe there on the 4 hour. I can probably squeeze it on that for the 4 hour for my stop. You get the idea. So I use them in that way. But normally I'd say about 75% of the time, I use the day to start off with. Hope that makes sense, Nancy. And to everybody else, it's not just for Nancy, it's for everybody. Well, ones are just starting, that is. But totally agree with that, Evan. No doubt about that. Just look at the newer messages. How long it takes depends on what type of trader you are. Am I right? No, it doesn't. It depends on the market. The guys in a very short period of time are usually institutional traders, we call it prop traders or proprietary traders who don't have any costs, go in very, very big positions. They grab 3-4 pips and they're out. Some even quicker, 2 pips or something. They might do several 100,000 plus a day, or computer high-speed traders do thousands a day, but they don't touch them. The machine does it for them. Okay, but depends on the market. Roger, don't understand how the moving average works. Can please help me understand which and what looks like. Okay, now a lot of people swear by Bollinger Bands, stochastics, solid channel indicators, relative strength indicators, MACDs, moving average, convergence, divergence, you name it. There's quite a few out there. My problems are all lagging the price action. I'd rather look at the candle and I see immediately what the price is doing. What do I use the moving average for? And particularly the 50 to 200 is no other reason, Martin and guys. It's because it is so internationally used. I was an expression like the film might be rubbish, but if people go into the film, it's self-fulfilling. The film's going to make money. You know what I mean? You might think junk food is terrible, but everyone's going to McDonald's or King or what's that Burger King. Will invest in that. But you might think, oh, this little bistro on the side of the road with the French haute cuisine is so good, it's so delicious. But nobody's going to it. You go to it and enjoy your meal there, but you wouldn't invest in it. You know what I'm saying? It's self-fulfilling. And I use them particularly because everyone else bloody well uses them, no more, no less. You know, as simple as that. You can be independent, think in your own time. Be a bit of a sheep in trading. Go with the big money. The retail market is big, but it's still much smaller than the retail market. And that's the smart money, as they call it. And the retail and the smart money uses those, and they use a filter. I learned that myself after all these moving averages, only last 4 or 5 years ago. And it works for me. It makes life a lot simpler. So I know it's above the, not black ones so much. It's useful. The blue and the brown, I'm looking at the buy zone, intermediary, zone where you can buy or sell between the two, or sell it down here. Sell the rallies, buy or sell, and or in this area buy the pullbacks. Sometimes it's in the buy zone, and you can see here it's a range. So I will sometimes sell in the buy zone if it's got a range, like sell it down here, buy it back up, sell it. You get the idea, obviously. If it gets a breakout in the buy zone, do it. If it's nearing a breakout, I'm getting nervous. I might not sell it down. I might wait for the breakout until I get it confirmed and then take it there or whatever. But that's basically what the moving average is for. It's support, resistance, like the floor and the ceiling. You want to buy, right? Where do you want to buy it? The ceiling or the floor? Obviously at the floor, same principle. You want to sell it at the ceiling or the floor? No, you want to sell at the ceiling. And you're selling at the ceiling here, you're buying or selling here, and or you're buying here. Why am I buying in the buy zone? Why am I selling the cells in the buy zone? It's because I'm looking at the past and I'm looking at that range. So I think there could be some downside. And remember, indicators are lagging. I'm not talking about one crosses the other. That's too lagging. That's what I use it for. And even short-term moving average, even exponential moving average of 5 or 6 days are still lagging the price action. That's the price action. And look at the 15-minute candle. What's happening here? That's what the buyers are doing at the moment. In 15 minutes, that's a very short period of time, the buyers and sellers are tussling out. The buyers are getting nowhere and the sellers are getting nowhere. that, never mind MACD's cluttering your charts up, that tells me that immediately. I'm going to give an example. Let's take this one here. Doesn't really matter. Pick one of you. I'm just taking arbitrarily. I can look at that, put on the day chart, just squeeze in a bit there, and I can see it's in the between the two there, neutral zone. Try to move up, sellers came in, try to move down, buyers came in, leave it alone. On to the next one. That's what I do each morning. On to the next one in alphabetical order. AUD, CAD, downwards. You get it? I can knock it off in 10 minutes from practice. And that's what I want you two guys to get at. This is what I do in the morning. This is exactly what I do in the morning, so you get the idea. I'll show what I do in the morning. I'll speak aloud as I'm doing. Obviously, I'm not speaking aloud to myself. AUD, CAD, sell zone. What's the distance down here? 70 pips. I can look at the weekly. Not enough to break out yet. Not enough meat in the bones. Next one. AUD, CHF. Want to sell it clearly. Strong one. Any meat in the bones. Quick check. Not enough meat in the bones. Move on. That's what I do it in the morning. Bang, 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 bang. And it's just like changing gear. You think, bloody hell, you first get in the car. I know you're a neurosurgeon, Martin, but you first got in the motor car, you thought, oh, this is impossibly difficult. Now you can have a chat, bring your cell phone, look out the window, look at the shops going by, and the pretty girls in their skirts. Sorry, just kidding, guys. As you change gears 3 or 4 times, it just becomes practice. This is not brain surgery. Where the difficulty is in this game is the market variabilities, which you cannot control, and your head. Wrong volumes, going in too big or too small, and being indisciplined on that, and your head is overcoming your heart is overcoming your head. Your emotions are taking over your logic. That's the killer, in that's what you got to work on. That's the tough part. But that you don't get courses on that. That's the discipline you got to practice yourself. I know I'm an emotional person and I'm not the most disciplined, so it's hard for me. So if you're an actual or a highly disciplined sports star, probably easy for you. If you're a very logical way of mind, you can very strong control your emotions, not a very emotional type of person, you've actually got a bit of advantage. Like golfers. There's obviously exceptions. Most golfers are pretty bloody boring because it's such a logical head game, you know. I forgot you all unmuted. There you are. Nikki, go for it.
Okay, so
Pips, not
can you
points,
just,
yeah. Go,
can you just tell me-
sorry, Nancy, pips, not points. Pips, not points. That's a pip. Sorry, that's a point. That's only relative when you've got very, very large accounts. Okay. 1% movement on a 100 rand account is diddly squat. 0.01% or 1 basis movement on a $100 million account is a lot of money. None of us here have got big enough accounts to worry about the points, to keep an eye on the pips. Just make sure everybody knows that. Sorry, Nikki, carry on.
I just wanted to check, can you just tell me if I've got this right? So because I always struggle with making, like if I had to do my own signal, like one day, I always struggle with knowing where to put the levels. So how you analyze it is that you look at the daily, you look at the history of the previous candles to see your support and resistance lines. And then like if it was the EuroCAD, you see that it was holding and the sellers were defending that line. And then if it breaks...
Sorry to interrupt. I've got a brilliant idea what you're doing there, Nikki. What I'm going to do, you pick a Forex pair for me, Nikki. We'll go over it and we'll do it together. We're going to do a strategy together. That seems to be even better. So pick up, not this one, another one, just for the hell of it. Pick arbitrarily one. We'll put it up. We'll do it together. Oh, sorry, before I forget. Women's Day is next Wednesday. I think it's the 9th. Anyway, it's next Wednesday. The 9th is Women's Day. The South African holiday, but the international markets are open. So I'll be doing a trade room 9:30 to 11 on next Wednesday, Women's Day. But after that, if you get what, I take my phone with me. So, but if I go out, I usually leave my business home behind. So if I don't phone you, WhatsApp you immediately in return, it's when I get back. So if I'm out on that Wednesday in the afternoon, you can still WhatsApp me. If you don't hear from me immediately, it's because I've took my personal, not that one behind. But there will be a morning meeting, a morning trading room, just so you know. Okay, are you happy with that idea, Nikki? I think it'll be great for everybody.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, pick one.
Let's do, I don't know, USD CAD.
Right. Start off with, before we look at the chart, pleasure. I'm going to start off, before we look at that, check your economic fundamentals. All right. So I look at economic fundamentals. Anything coming out today on the US dollar CAD? I know it's non-farms, but I've just checked it. This is not Friday, by the way. No, there's nothing coming out on the dollar or the CAD coming out or whatever. So we don't have to worry about economic fundamentals. Okay. Right. Go to the chart. Right. What do you see there? Nikki, you take us through. What do you see there?
Okay, so based on the daily charts, it looks like the last candle looks like there's only
All right.
the
First of all, start off with,
resistance.
is this in the buy zone, the neutral zone, or the sell zone? That's the
okay.
first question you ask. The
It's
first
in
question you
the-
ask yourself, guys, for everybody, Nikki, this is important. Good idea. First thing you look at, buy zone, intermediary zone, or neutral zone, or a sell zone. Where is it?
I would say it's in the neutral zone because it's between the 50 and the 200.
Right, you're learning. Now, listen, this lady, to embarrass her again, she's been doing this about 3 or 4 weeks. So it doesn't take years, but she interacts. Right, ignore the black line. Just go for the brown and the blue. It's between the two. Can you see it? Are we all good on that? First thing Nikki now sees, and I hope you all see it, it's in the neutral. It means you can buy or sell it. In the buy zone, the only time you sell in the buy zone is a range trade or it's overvalued, like a double top here, or a double bottom. You might buy it depending on the situation. But otherwise, you're selling the rally, buying from the bottom or selling from up here, or you could even sell from the black line if you want. Or if here, you want to wait till it wait to cut. This is the floor here. Remember, that's a fourth floor. That's the floor. That's the ceiling. You want to buy it halfway up. You want to buy it if it bounces off here and take it up. Are we all clear on that? So interrupt, but I want to make it absolutely clear we're all getting it. So start off with, where is it? It's in the neutral zone. Right. Is it near the floor or near the high? Is it near the floor of the neutral zone or near the ceiling of the neutral zone? Where is it?
I was kind of hovering halfway.
It's halfway house. So do you want to buy at the floor, halfway house, or near the ceiling?
I would say none because
No,
for-
yes. No, you want to buy at the floor.
Oh,
You don't
oh,
want to buy
sorry.
at halfway house,
Right,
and you
okay.
certainly don't want to buy at the ceiling, do you? Do you want to buy at the top or buy at the bottom?
Buy at the bottom.
You get it. You get it. And that's what all these indicators, what the hell? You can see immediately, neutral zones, you can buy or sell it, and it's halfway. I'm sorry for interrupting. I want to keep people really on point because it's that easy when you get the basic idea. Glad you brought this up, Nikki. Right, so it's halfway house. So what do you want to do at halfway house? Leave it alone, buy it or sell it?
I would leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Number two, is there any resistance here? Can you see the cross there? Would you see the bit of resistance there? Can you see
yes,
it?
yeah, there's a
So,
few.
so leave it alone one, leave it alone two. So we've got two to leave it alone. Do you find any reasons to buy or sell it? So you got fingers in your hand, right? Can you see my hands all right?
Yeah,
3 reasons to leave it. 3 reasons to leave it alone. 1 to buy. Not enough. 2 reasons to sell it. 5 to buy it. Good enough. 3 to sell it. 3 reasons to buy it. Leave it alone. You want to have at least 3 in your favor. So I've got 4 to buy, 1 to sell. I might do it. If I got 4 to buy and 0 to sell, that's again high probability. Never 100%, but you increase your probability. I try to look for 65% probability. I have gone occasionally at 60 at higher risk because I'm prepared to take that risk, but I don't like to go below 60. If it's 55% in my favor, I'm not happy. 50-50. If I like that, why not go to the casino and gamble instead? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're looking for a 65% probability. So 3 say yes, 1 say no. That's a 65% probability. You can go for it. So number 1, halfway house in the neutral zone, don't go for it. Number 2, right at resistance, don't go for it. Right, carry on. What's the next thing you see there?
The candlestick as well, maybe.
The
You look at the
candlestick,
candlestick?
spot on, spot on. Look at yesterday's candlestick. Broke up, nothing happened, sellers came in. Look at the wick. Broke down, nothing happened, buyers came in. Nothing happened. Look at today, broke up, sellers are coming in. This is 10. Look at the candle, by the way. If it's a daily candle and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, it's the same as a 1 hour candle. Don't forget. Okay. 10 hours old, not happening north, coming down a bit as it comes off. Nothing happens to the downside. Again, you look at the candle. What are the buyers and sellers doing? Sod all. Number 4, as it turns out, is non-farm. But if it's non-farms, you definitely leave it alone. But it's not a non-farm day. There's no worries about economic calendars, no worries about fundamentals, purely technical. We've also found another reason to leave it alone. Neutral, halfway house, at resistance, and going nowhere. There's more reason to leave it alone to buy it. Are we all good with that?
Yes, I understand now.
Is that brain surgery stuff?
Oh, wait, last question. When you like, let's say if it wasn't in the neutral zone, let's say if it was in a definite zone, like
We're going to do another one in the moment. We'll do another one because I think this is very valuable. I think this is valuable, guys. I'm getting some backup here. It's valuable. That's what I do every day, and I make a couple of bucks, so might as well follow it. If you want to complicate and put other stuff in, that's your choice. But let's get the basics right. Okay, that's fine, Nikki. So any other? So in other words, the consensus with this one, leave it alone. Are we correct? Today, absolutely, we're going to leave it alone. You couldn't have picked 2 worse ones to trade today because the dollar is clearly going to be affected. It's the US non-farms, and Canadian will be affected nearly as much as the dollar. So clearly, anybody who trades this is a guy who hasn't been to a trading room and is trading without any basic prior knowledge, or he's a high-speed trader, or he knows something we don't know. Okay. Okay, Rabi, hope to see you again. Very important. You can make it more often. Don't forget, by the way, guys, if you're busy, you can't make it, or at work, or you can't attend live, it is recorded. Go to the portal, onto the menu. Bottom of the menu, it says social media. It's on YouTube there. Every day I record it on there. So then you got it handy, just so you know if you can't make it. Right, Nikki. So anybody there who's listened to this thinks a good idea to buy this one or sell this one? I'm assuming no. In fact, if anyone, I'm not asking you to know. Anybody say yes? I'm more interested in anyone say yes. I'd like to know why. If Samuel, if the fundamentals interfering, I'll definitely leave it alone. In half an hour's time, the non-farm payroll, a very important fundamental US dollars coming out. I certainly wouldn't buy it. Never mind what the technicals are. I wouldn't touch it. You want to sell this, Anili, okay? Right, and then you got it. Fine, you want to sell it. I want to do a lot of things, but I've got to back it up with a reason. So you want to sell it, okay? Got that, Sam? Good. Okay, you think that's a good to sell? Non-farms coming up at 2:30, which in 4 hours' time, right in halfway house. It's not giving any movement towards the buy. Even look at a shorter term chart. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. All right, it's in the buy zone, the 4-hour charts. That again puts you off the selling it. And let's try the 1-hour chart. Nothing happening. And if anything, it's sliding slightly upwards. Even look at the 15-minute chart. Sod all happening. As it popped up, it's coming off. The volumes of trading this at the moment will be very small worldwide. There's not many people trading this. Why is it getting movement? Because a lot of guys, we've got many millions of retail guys. I'm going to be quite horribly honest with you, don't know what they're doing. We're probably doing out of some sort of emotional strategy because they feel like it, because it looks like a good idea. Or they see a green candle on the 15-minute, that's a buy for me. You're always going to get that sort of thing. So you're going to get some price movement. But overall, I might be wrong. It might come flying off raw wrong. Could happen after non-farms. But we only know that afterwards. But information you got in front of you, I can see no reason to sell it. First of August. Did the fundamental come out? What's the 1st of August? Economics, just a second. What happened on the 1st? Let's check to see anything happened on the 1st of August. Just give me a second. Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, Tuesday of the 1st of August.
It was the downgrade of the US from AAA.
Oh, that's right. That's correct. That's correct. The was it Moody's downgraded it? That's right. Thank you, Ivan. That's correct. Yeah, Moody's downgraded the US. That's the reason. Okay, that's the fundamental. Okay, when that happens, a fundamental. Look at this one. Look at that there. That's not technical now, so that's a fundamental. Okay. Thank you, Ivan. It was Fitch. Sorry, Alan. I thought it was Moody's. Okay. Okay. Right. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So it's Fitch. Anyway, it was downgraded. You're right. And what's the other one? S&P, the three of them. Okay, never mind. Anyway, it was downgraded. Good. Thanks for that. All right. So going back to Nikki. So we put that together. We leave it alone. I would like you, Nikki, to pick another one. Or we can actually get, I tell you what, Nikki, give someone else to put the hand up. Need to leave you guys. Thanks, Coach Roger. I'll message you later explicitly. Okay, fair enough, Nancy. No problem. And no jokes about Italian footballers, please. You've probably heard them all before, but hope to have you back again soon. Okay, let's have somebody else. Gold. Okay, gold. Let's have a look at gold. Right, let's put up gold. Okay, before we look at the charts, what gold? Obviously a commodity. Right. Is gold affected by fundamentals? Absolutely. Is it affected by the non-farm payrolls? Absolutely. Is it affected by the dollar index? Absolutely. Is it affected by the yields? I put that up for you. I didn't put it up for you earlier on. Give me a second for those who don't have it. This is the yields or returns on the 10-year Treasury bond. Okay, just give me a second. This isn't the bloody way. Hang on. Okay, let me put this up for you. Copy and paste this. You got it handy. If you're married to him, Nancy, I tell you what, you'd be a very wealthy person now, eh? Anyway, moving along. Right. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the 10-year yields. Sorry, that's the yields on the 10-year note or bond. That's a US Treasury bond. Okay. It's and if the yields go up, gold in theory goes down, the dollar goes up, it's bad for gold, and vice versa. So you've got to take that into account. So you don't just jump into gold, you've got to know what's happening overall, what happened with the dollar index and the yields. Okay, why did it come off? Because the dollar started to strengthen and the yields went up, so it forced gold down. Gold's a safe haven, and when the dollar strengthens, people swap over to gold into the US dollar as a safe haven. You get the idea. Why do yields are important? Because there is no yields or dividends or interest paid on gold. It's purely there for capital gain. So it's called, we call it in economic world, an opportunity cost. So when you go into gold, it's a cost of you an opportunity to earn interest by going to an alternative instrument. Now, if you're going to go into instruments producing a guaranteed yield of 10% a year, and you're doing absolutely no work, no skill, no risk, no effort, no brainer, no nada, why would you go into a gold where it takes a bit more risk to do it? So as the returns go up on the interest or yields, then gold goes down. When yields come off, let's say to 0% for argument's sake, you're getting no return by putting in the bank, then you turn to gold. The other aspect, gold, is a fear factor. If there's a lot of worries out there, there could be a bomb going off somewhere or some horrible things going on in the world or whatever, that might occur where people go into gold, buying up gold because they're worried about a bear market or recession or a major correction or worries about that out there. They might go into gold, even though there might be a little bit of dollar strength coming in, even if they're buying it for that reason. There's a fear factor involved. So you've got to bear in mind, this is a football to fundamentals. Okay, and you get the point. Right, now on the charting base of gold, never mind fundamentals now. Ignore the fundamentals, I explained that. Go back to Nikki. Hope you're still there. We want you back on the air again because you speak extremely well and confidently, and you're extremely articulate. So I'd like to have you back on there because everyone can understand you. Okay, so Nikki's back on the charting. I want Nikki now to tell, when she looks at this, what's the first thing she looks at? Go for it, Nikki.
Okay, so the first thing I would see is that it's in the sell zone because the current candlestick is below the 50 and the 200.
No, it's not in the sell zone. Where's the 200s? Here. Where's the blue? It's here.
Okay. Oh, it's in the neutral zone. I thought, sorry, I was reading the wrong one. It's in the neutral zone.
Okay, very important you get that. Okay, it's in the neutral zone. I hope we all see that. Right, so that means you can buy or sell it. Now, it's about 2/3 the way up, isn't it? So it's not at the floor and you want to buy it, or it's not at the ceiling where you want to sell it because you can buy or sell it. It's 2/3 the way up. Right. What else do you see there?
Okay, I see there's a dodgy candlestick there.
Yesterday's.
Yesterday.
What do you call that? Call it a doji if you like. Let's speak English here. All these fancy names confuses
Indecision.
people, especially starting. The mystique, these fancy names, makes you sound clever and confuse the beginners. Let's use English. We're not trying to get clever here. We're trying to teach the basics of it. That's indecision candle. Doesn't know where it wants to go, to Durban or wants to go to Limpopo. Can't make its mind up. Right. What else do you see there?
Oh, it's actually it's at the floor, because if you look at the previous candles, something with support and resistance.
That's the one. Okay. See that, guys? It's on support. Look at the crosshair there. Crosshair there. Look at this. 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 Look at this back here in March. See what I mean? It's crunching a bit more. Actually, you probably see a bit more. They are right back to here. Okay. So see what's going on. I'll zoom in a bit. All right. You get what I'm coming at. So it's right on resistance. Now, let's go pretend there's no fundamentals coming out today whatsoever. You could buy or sell it here. It seems to be holding at the moment. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. It's consolidating and a sideways motion. That's at the bottom of the consolidated support. Let's look at the hourly chart. It's confirming there. You might want to buy it. You wouldn't do it today because of non-farms, but it's nothing coming out fundamental today. You might say, what I learned, I look at I've copy and pasted for you. So you all got the index now. Index is still hovering above 102. It's strongish, okay, which is a little bit of a worry, but it hasn't gone up anymore. It's come off a little bit over the last day or so. So it looks like it's reached the floor. Let's look at the yields. You click on your yields I just posted to you, and that's going sideways the last few hours. So maybe on a long-term one, assuming there's no fundamentals, we're not doing it now because there are fundamentals, no fundamentals on the support. We've got a little bit of a confirmation bounce there. It's on the bottom. You might want to risk an aggressive trade. How far is it to there? It's about $10 to there. Maybe risk maybe an aggressive trade with about a $5-6 risk. Highly aggressive, probably a day trade. You might want to look at that. If that's too aggressive, or you're a beginner and you're not comfortable with that, or you've got limited funds, so you haven't got a lot to play with, you probably therefore would leave it alone. On a day like this, you would absolutely leave it alone. Are we clear on that, Nikki and everybody else?
I just wanted to double check, when you looked at, so since it's at supports at the moment from the previous candles, then obviously if you're going to do an aggressive one, then you would either take it up to the I forgot the blue
50.
The 50 one.
50 and 200. 50, that's the 10. The magenta's the 10. All simple. That's the 100. That's the 50, and that's the 200. Should all have them. These two imperative. Those are light. You can have them if you like, the black and the red one, but the blue and the brown one, imperative. You must have them. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. You can take it up there if you want. You can take it up there if you want, then you can have a wider stop. That's $36. So you can have a stop down here somewhere. You know what I mean? But if you're going to do aggressive, what aggressive means, tight stop, tight TP, and that's aggressive. Okay. So you can do aggressive, or you can take it up there. At the moment, leave it alone, but you get the idea. Let's do another one. Go on. Okay. Let's do another one now. Nikki, I want you to take us through another one, but I want somebody else to suggest one. Can somebody put down another currency pair? All right, that was a commodity, but it doesn't matter. But let's do it. Actually, doesn't have to be a currency or commodity if you want, or whatever. Leave the indices alone. They're slightly different. They're not different, but there's much wider stops because of volatility. So just get the concept in your head using a commodity or a foreign exchange. Dollar yen. Okay. Okay, who got there first? Edwin. Well, two CAD, CHF. Right. Well, there's a few of them come out. We'll quickly do them all if you like. GBP, JPY. Start off with that one. Right, Nikki, the floor is yours. Check daily chart. I have to be honest, no modesty here, my friends. I've done some brilliant analysis. It's on the 15-minute chart, so it's completely pointless. You can't do it on the 50. It doesn't mean anything. So I'm just joking. Make sure it's on the daily. We've all made that mistake. Okay, daily chart. Right. Over to you. What's the first thing? intermediate, or sell zone? What's the
Okay, so
first thing that hits
first
you?
would be fundamentals.
No,
Second,
look, good one. Fundamentals, quick check. Nothing on the fundamentals. Well pointed out. Forgot about that. Well pointed out, Nikki. Nothing on the fundamentals. Right, on the technicals. Where's it?
okay,
Buy,
technically,
sell, where is it?
the candles are above the 50 and the 200, so it's in the buy zone.
Okay, all agreed in the buy zone. Okay, go for it.
Okay, then you would look at support and resistance lines. So there is a little bit of supports there from previous candles.
Can you all see that, guys? A bit of support in previous candles. All get that? We call that spatial intelligence. Hope you've all got it. See that? You got it? All got that. Right, carry on, Nikki.
Then the next I would look at the candlesticks. So previous one, it looked more downside to me, the previous two candles.
Looks to me, yesterday's candle looks indecisive. This looks indecisive. This looks indecisive. Now let's look at the distance between this and the last 4 days.
Okay.
Wow. Always check. That's 190 pips. It looks tiny, doesn't it? Always check. That looks like about 20 pips to me. It's 190 pips. There's a lot of meat on the bones there. What a pleasure. Okay, just check. Always check to see. That's 2,000 means 200, by the way. Just ignore the last number there. Okay, so there's plenty of upside potential, even though it doesn't look like that on the chart. Okay.
You always check the pips from the previous 4 candles and see how much meat was on the bone from the current one.
Not necessarily 4. It depends what's in front of you. But you can see the high there, can't you? That's fairly obvious, right? You see where we are now. You see the high is there. It couldn't get above the high. There's a bit of resistance there. Can you see it?
Yep.
So if you're going to aim, you aim there. But you're checking. There's no point going to trade there, work it all out and find the distance there. It's 30, 40 pips. You can't do it. 190 pips. What a pleasure. That's a plenty of meat on the bones, as I call it. Not very economical, but jargon. But anyway, it's what it is. Okay. Right. So no problem with the upside. So you could look at a buy or a sell here. What would you be looking to buy or sell this one, technically speaking?
So technically it's one for the buy because it is in the buy zone.
Yep.
But it's also one for the sell, since the previous, there was like lower lows on the previous candles.
No. If you go back, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. This one, okay, it was below that. I get that. It's broke through into this is the previous high, right? It broke through here, and now that was resistance. Now that is support. So we'll look at these candles here, and it's the bottom of the range. So it's, to me, number 1, it's in the buy zone, and number 2, it's retracted back to the buy zone, and number 3, let's have a look at a shorter term chart. Are there any buyers coming in? Yeah, the buyers are coming to defend that area. 4-hour chart is defending that area. Every time it comes through, look at that. It broke through yesterday, but the buyers came in to defend that area. So that support line's being defended. So there's you wouldn't be selling this, you'd be buying it. You get the idea.
Oh, okay. I think I need more practice on that one. But thank you.
It doesn't take long. It won't take long. Bit of practice won't take long. I mean, I do it every day, so it's like changing gear to me, do without thinking. But it don't take long. This is not I'm not underestimating what happens in the variable market, but for practical, it ain't rocket science. I'm not negating myself, my ability here, but trust me, guys, it ain't rocket science. A lot of people make it all mystique and filled and books to read. It makes it sound, oh yeah, it's not rocket science, really. Yeah, you can see what's happening there. That's the floor there. It broke through. That was the ceiling, and now it's broken from this is the 3rd or 4th floor. It's broken out of the 4th floor to the 5th floor. So that's the 4th floor. This is the 5th floor ceiling. It's the bottom of the 4th floor. It's in the buy zone. You look to buy it before you do any confirmed movement. You check a 4-hour. Yep, got a bit of confirmed movement. It's been defended. Look at the 1 hour if you like. Bit of defense coming in there. So you look to buy it. Why is there not much action coming up at the moment? Because there's been a lot of mostly American fundamentals coming out the last 3 days. That's the ADP on Wednesday, jobless claims on Thursday, and the big one today, Friday. That's the reason probably, and my guess, you haven't had a lot of movement, even though it's not a US dollar currency. But that apart, that if you're doing it, you'd be looking to buy it. Have everybody clear on that?
Yeah, got you.
Got it. Good. I know you are, Gerard. You've been doing it a while. Come on. I'm talking about the newer guys. You should be paying me the stock market college money, eh? Yeah, absolutely. It affects not the chart, it affects the Japanese yen, yeah. Well, we've got a yen up there, I get that, okay. But it won't affect the GBP USD, no. Remember, if they buy bonds and yields go in opposite directions. If they start to buy up bonds, the yields will come off. But that apart, yeah. It's absolutely good to Gerard to recap until it becomes a bit of practice. And it'll take a bit of practice. It won't take long. You can look at a chart once you've got these basics and go through it in a few seconds and get an idea of any potential. And if there is, then you go and look into it more deeply. And I'll just write it down as possible trade ideas before my 8:30 meetings in the morning. Not with you guys, with us guys, you know. And then we can discuss, and that's where you get your signals from. Okay. Good. Should we do one more? Anyone want to put the hand up and do one more? Nicky's been very confident. Anyone want to be confident? We can go up. Not Final Gerard, somebody who's not been doing long. Maybe Chantel, somebody who's, you know, not quite as experienced, and see if they're learning stuff. I'm trying to take the fear out of it. And you got this something you can learn the trading room, and that's just about practice and learning. I happen to know the Swiss franc strong. I keep updated. That's when you can use my bit of fundamental knowledge. But from the chart perspective, that should come fairly quickly soon if we can go through it. Do another one if anyone wants to put the hand up and unmute and go through it. Have a go, Chantel. You're a very good speaker. Come on, be brave. Fortune favors the brave. Oh, you got to take the dogs for a walk. Oh, yeah. Come on, guys. Anyone put the hand up? If you're too shy and nervous, well, fair enough. But if you can put your hand up, give Nicky a bit of a break and see what we'll pick another one and go through it till you get the idea. I think we're getting some learning going on here, because I think people buying these courses not looking and not understanding it and making it more difficult for themselves. Yeah, but you've quite experienced. I'd like someone who's less experienced to do it, to be honest. I want to build confidence. You've already got it. You know what I mean? Someone's fairly new. I don't want the guy doing it for several months or a couple of years or whatever. Someone who's to show someone who's only been doing it for 3 or 4 weeks or a couple of weeks has got the nerve to have a go at it, to show the newer guys how quickly it can be learned. Nicky's only doing a short period of time, but I'm going to show it's just not Nicky can do it. You can as well. I want you to unmute, Martin, or anybody. Unmute so we can hear it. I think there might be a buy on this one, actually. 2 weeks we might do it. There you are, Michael. You go on. From your WhatsApp picture, young, so you must be confident. Anyway, unmute. I've unmuted you all, by the way. I think I'm muted. No, you know, you're unmuted. Yeah, you're unmuted. Yeah. Come on, maybe you have a go, Michael. Talk your way through it, and then you'll have the floor. You're not here to pick on you, you know. Alan, no, it'd be a bit much for you guys. You take notes, keep pen and paper handy, you pick stuff up. Absolutely. But yeah, you've been a couple of weeks. Okay, that's good enough, Michael. Give it a go. Someone give it a go. Holding everyone up. Time is flying. It's only 10 minutes. Do another one. Actually, do the Swiss franc shake. Might be a trade idea, guys. It's come down. Clearly, that's the strongest currency going at the moment. It's on support at the moment. 10-day moving average is a little bit of a worry. We can see it's in the buy zone, but it's on support. Yesterday defended, the day before defended, came down here. How far is that? It's a long way away. That's my only worry. You might get a better one. Let's have a look. Just check any more downside. Yeah, you might get it closer to here. Keep an eye on that one. If it gets down to 162-ish, or even if we get it down here, we might get a buy on this one. I think we'll leave it for the moment. But on the 4 hour, it looks like a possible buy if we can see some buyers coming in. Momentum's down at the moment, might get down here, might even get down here to 122.25. I think we can, if it bounces from here, you might get a trade for the day. Because what I'm trying to do is trying to take some mystique and complications out of it. It's frightening too many people off. I'm not here to show cleverness. I'm here to teach you guys, you know, how the basics of actual trading and getting the discipline of the position size calculator and getting your head in control. Okay. Anyone want to give it a go? Go for it.
Roger. Yes. Can you go back to the daily chart on that one, please? Yeah, it's in the buy zone because it's above the 250-day average. And it's hitting above resistance again at the 162 mark.
Support, you mean?
Yeah, support. The old resistance, new support.
Well, if you're going long, it's support. If you're going short, it's resistance. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct.
So I would suggest a buy.
Yep.
But what I additionally do is I go to the 1 hour chart, if you wouldn't mind. See, why I would be hesitant to buy at this point. On the 1 hour chart, I look at the 10-day or the 10-hour moving average, the pink line. And as you can see, it's hitting resistance on that 10 moving average. So if it breaks that resistance, I would be happy to buy it. But at this point, it just keeps hitting it and not going further.
Yep, it is indeed on the 1 hour. But 1 hour is very short, 24 hours a day. Remember, that's 1 day is nada. It's not very long. It's 50 pips in the last hour, nearly 2 hours. So that wouldn't worry me too much. You're not a high speed, trader. You could be in for 2-3 days. My thing to go in there is the 4 hour. Going back to the 4 hour, I'd rather get this price. If I can get this price and it bounces, I won't jump in there. And I want to see if it bounces. I might take it there, the stop down here. That's. I'm hoping to get that. 1 hour is very short. I mean, that's only 2 hours. And even in 2 hours, it's down 50 pips. You get it?
Yeah, but I keep an eye on that resistance, if it can break it.
If you want to break it above there, you're looking at breaking above there, maybe at 163. Go back to daily. Yeah. The trouble is at 163, the high is there at 163.90. This 90 pips it's okay, but I prefer about 120, 150, 160 pip TP. But if you happy with a 90 with a tight stop of maybe 50 pips, that's your choice.
Okay.
But I personally would see if I can get a bounce off here, you get my point. If I can get a bounce off there, let's say it bounces there and I go in at 162.30, I can have the stop down here, which is only maybe even slightly wider, maybe a 50. I'll have it down here below this guy here on the daily, or sorry, the 4 hour, I beg your pardon, down there, 60, 70 pip stop. And then I can take it to here. And I can even take it to there, or if I take it to there, I've got a 2-to-1 risk reward up to there and a decent one up there. You get the idea. So I personally, my money, I'd go in there. If you get
rather go in lower.
I'm going to try and get below. If you're going to go for a high speed, quick trade and you understand all that, maybe you could look at it there for a take up there on the hourly. I take your point entirely. Buy it down there for move back up, but buying's the name of the game. I wouldn't be selling it. Okay. If you think it's going to come back, I wouldn't sell the expectation of coming back. I'd rather wait to see if it does come back or retraces to buy it rather than sell it down. Okay. All right. Non-farms, if you've done it before, you can do whatever you like. You can pick whatever instrument you like. But on consensus, I put it in the trade room yesterday. The guys said they like to do dollar yen. So the one I'll be using today in my session will be the dollar yen, USD, JPY, guys. But if you want to do the euro dollar or AUD dollar or gold or what, it's up to you. Okay, I'm about to answer your question, guys. What are the other three indicators called? Not the moving averages. I haven't got any other indicators on there. I've only got moving averages. Michael, you learn all the different indicators. A lot of people use them. A lot of people use moving average, short-term, exponential, crossing, simple, or vice versa, or whatever. That would always be like exponential crossing the simple, by the way. There's some like Mollinger Bands, swear by them. That's up to them. If it works for them, keep it. Some swear by the MACD, swear by the stochastic, swear by the relative strength, different algorithms they can put in. That's fine. Some people consolidate CCI, consolidate channel indicator. Fine. That's up to you. I work on the fundamental knowledge that I have by using the calendar and basic experience to pick up this little bit of news, what's going on. Those candles, see what the buy and sellers are doing, and what I got on the screen. Alan, that's for classes. This is not a training room. This is, well, I've done a bit of training here on the basics of it, but it's not a training for a beginner. That's when you buy a course like Stock Market College where they give you the basics. That's the educational package we're selling to give you the basics. You know, lot sizes, you know, the different indicators, that sort of thing. How to operate the platform, how to put in different indicators, how to insert them all. That's done in the classes. Okay. But I'll tell you, it's quite simple. It'll take 2 seconds. Go to insert, go to indicators, go down to trend. You have two types, oscillators and trend. Moving average happens to be a trend. Click on the average, and then you put in there the amount of time there, the color. I use close, by the way, for whatever I do anyway, and then make it a slightly thicker line. You can do it that way, but that's for the classes. This is for trading and concepts on trading. So in other words, you've got the basics when you come to the trade room. It's not for free. Otherwise, who's going to buy a course when you get it for free? And the guys who bought the course will be highly upset with me if I start spending all the time teaching new guys for free when we're not looking at trading ideas, you know. Okay, Alan. So if you've never heard of a stock market or a forex currency before, we talk about a lot size with no idea what we're on about. That's when you go and get your basic training. You don't go to a law firm, ask for a job until you've got the law degree. Same sort of principle. Michael's bought it, so he's not going to be very happy if I start teaching John or Mary free of charge and holding everyone else up. They'll be highly upset. Okay, we have to jump off now. It's only a few minutes to go. I hope you found that useful. We didn't have trade ideas because of non-farms, but I thought hopefully Concept will do it again if we get a quiet moment, if you find it useful. It's up to you. You tell me and I help. A lot of guys said, one guy claimed we never do strategies in there. Well, ask. People don't ask. And then, well, they don't get you. Like Nikki help me to help you, basically. Okay, 2 o'clock session, non-farms, only if you've got a funded account, and not 100 Rand, a funded account, properly funded account. We don't want you taking up space, the guys who have got funded accounts. And if you haven't done the straddle trade before, make sure you're on time for 2 o'clock. Don't come at 20 past, and there won't be time to explain it before we start putting the orders in. But please join me then. Hopefully we'll go into the weekend nice and make some buckaroos quickly.
Thanks, Roger. That was really helpful.
Thank you very much. Hope it was helpful for everybody as well. Thanks very much for your patience, Fani. Thank you. Hope everyone else learned some stuff there.
No, I really do appreciate it. Well done. Thanks to all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Catch you later. Stick with it. Okay. Practice makes perfect, as they say. I know that from a bloody golf swing.